Jeep Grand Cherokee.
And we are taking out the oil pan to check out any raspberry issues. So taking down the Jeep Grand Cherokee oil pan is not a fun job. So we're going to take down the Y exhaust pipe, which is like V8. So we're going to disconnect the pipes, which I already have done that. It's up there. You can see the neck. And it's another one on the other side, which is like this. I already took it out. They are 15 millimeters bolts. Job of taking the oil pan down is taking down the exhaust system. So there's the pan and there's the exhaust. So once you take down the exhaust, the pan has a 10 millimeter, I believe, bolts all around. It's a big one. I did remove the starter yesterday, so that was on the passenger side, 2 bolts. And that way I can have access to the right side exhaust neck, so that was easier. So I'm ready right now to disconnect and pull down the pipes, but they kind of stuck up in the manifold, so I tried to pull them yesterday. Although they are disconnected, they don't want to come out, so maybe a little pulling, we can get it out, and maybe we can move the exhaust backwards. I'll let you know. Okay, I'm under the Jeep now, and I just pulled out on the passenger side the exhaust. Once you take out the bolts, still is pretty tight in there, pretty tight fit. So I'll put a crowbar under the exhaust, like piece of wood without a dent or something. So I use some leverage and I start shaking it, and it popped. So that's the right side out. You have to understand how the pipes work. The right side is like a little turn, so you have to pull this way, not downwards. This one on the driver's side, you can see it up there where the flashlight is it gotta go downwards. So I will put the crowbar again, and I put the force down this time, so I can pop this one here. Maybe I can move the entire exhaust back. It's only a couple of hangers for the exhaust. One right here. So my head is a hanger, and one in the back. Maybe I can pull them down and lower the entire exhaust easier. And if that will work, then the oil pans will be quick take out. Okay, we're under the Jeep Grand Cherokee. The exhaust pipes are the called the Y pipe, because the V8 is connected. But disconnect the entire exhaust system under the car. Try to get it out as one piece. Won't work with the exhaust unless you're on the lift and you have a torch and heat up pipes. They're all rusted, they won't come out. So at this point, I either have to remove the bridge where the chassis and transmission are connected to the transmission mount. If I remove this bridge, like 8 bolts for on each side, then I gotta remove the transmission mount. If I remove the bridge, then I would drop the entire system, exhaust system, straight down without have to do any other thing. Now, if I don't want to do that, and I cannot disconnect it here, see, if I was able to, I took out the clamp, but if I cannot to take a remover here. If you can remove it from here just by pulling it out, there's no issues unless you heat it up and then you pull it. Now, I don't have a torch, so next best thing is either remove the bridge or cut the pipe somewhere after the bridge, because here I don't want to carry it here. I'm going to cut after the bridge, and I'll be able to push back and down and take it out. So after that, the worst scenario, will fix the exhaust. But right now my primary issue is the knocking of the engine. So as far as the exhaust, that's how it works. And I'm going to cut the exhaust somewhere before the muffler. I don't know if you can see it. So somewhere between, so I'll be able to connect afterwards, and I'll have a little flexibility to move the exhaust back a little bit. So I'm going to cut here. Use my power tool. So let's find out if we can. Okay, where I cut the pipe is still an issue to remove it completely from the car, the white pipe. So I was able to move it fast back to clear the oil pan. So at this point, other than the pipes here to be on the way, but I can always a little flexible. Other than that, I think I'm going to start removing the bolts for the oil pan. I'll make sure the oil is drained first, and I think it's pretty straightforward from here on. Okay, the exhaust is out. Now I'm going to work on the oil pan bolts, but also there's a bracket for the transmission. Between the transmission and the pan, it has to come off. So they look like 15mm bolts. We're going to remove the bracket, and I believe we are good to go. Okay, working on removing the bracket that's between the transmission and the oil pan. They are 15mm bolts. This is the transmission lines. There is a clip up here, plastic. Once you release the plastic clip, you're able to flex out the pipes. I have them hold down here a wire, so they are way of my way from tightening up bolts. So right now taking out the two last bolts. Therefore, the bolts are out. Hopefully now the bracket can come out. I want to make sure you forget anything. Should come right out right now. Maybe a little hammering goes long ways. Be careful, you're banging, it's aluminum. There it goes. Always a little banging. Okay, so there's the bracket. This is what it's all about. And now we can have access to the flywheel and also the upper bolts in the oil pan. You can see here now it was necessary to take the bracket out. Now I just have clear way to take all the bolts out. Hopefully the pan will come backwards. But as you can see now, the pan is easy, and I think this is the best way to do then. We can start the oil pan. I just remove all the bolts. I don't know how many they are, I'll count them later. They're all 10mm. Now the pens are a little stuck to the ears. A little tapping or maybe a screwdriver in here. Carefully we're going to pry it out. Crowbars become very handy. I'm just using the crowbar right now, and you can see that has separated already. There you go. Crowbars are great for this. There you go, there's the pen. I can see it's hanging out halfway. Hopefully we'll be able to remove it completely out of the car. So I need my hands right now, but so far so good. I don't know if I can put the camera down so you can watch. The pen is out, guys. No sweat. Not bad, not bad. Like it seems to be. A lot of people try different ways, and suspension and steering columns out and tie rods and shit. I don't think so. The pen is out. I had no problems at all, other the exhaust bolts that were rusted. If you're smart, you probably cut them off and replace them anyway, so don't bother taking off the exhaust, the Y pipes that go to the exhaust manifold. There's no way you can untie it halfway down the muffler. I took out the clamp that hold the pipe together, but it's not coming out, so I had to cut the exhaust behind by the muffler itself all the way back down there. But I was able to push down and back the Y pipe, they call it. Disconnect the oxy sensors, and at this point it's done. Oil pan, it gets rusted sometimes and it's very hard to take out. It's not a picnic for sure. I cleaned very nice inside, and I'm going to put it back on the car. Installing back the oil pan. It's a picnic where you have exhaust pushed backwards. There you go, it's already in place. With one hand it's back in place. Now I got to put the bolts on and it's done. It made it easy because we moved the exhaust out. Okay, completing the work on the oil pan, we have to put the bracket which is between the oil pan and the transmission. It's 8 15mm bolts. Very important to put this bracket back here before you put the exhaust on, otherwise you won't be able to get it through. So bolt is on, bolt the exhaust, oil pan is done. Oil pan is installed and the exhaust system is also installed. I cut the exhaust back there, so we have to put something welded to afterwards. I want to make sure that the engine is not knocking, so everything is back in place. Oil pan out. We are doing a quick exhaust repair. I had to cut the pipe out for some repair job in the front, removing the oil pan. Now I have to put it together. Sometimes your pipe can break, so what I'm going to do is, if you don't have a welder, you just want to use an adapter. I got a few, so we'll put this piece in here and the other half on the other side, and I'm going to unite the two pipes, two clamps, and I'm all done. Okay, now this is the finished product. When it's done, the exhaust repair is good, strong. I got a clamp in the back, but this can be permanent or it can be temporary. Quick fix.